This league might not be world famous, but I've enjoyed making these videos on the European hockey leagues, because they all seem to have an interesting and varied array of venues. The Czech Extraliga is no exception. Here they are. Winning Group Arena. This venue's non-commercial name is Rondo Hall, because it's round, and rondo means round, in a roundabout way. Speaking of round, the first event that this venue hosted back when it opened in 1982 was nothing to do with ice hockey. It was the World Bowling Championships. I guess it was probably a much bigger sport back in the 80s, because nowadays it just takes place at an actual bowling alley rather than a big arena. That ceiling looks pretty cool. Zimney Stadium Olomouc gets the nickname of the Kahuti Plek Arena, which roughly translates to the rooster barn or shed, and that works in more ways than one. The exterior does have a bit of a weathered farm shed look to it. The team that plays here is called the Roosters, and of course hockey rinks are often referred to as barns anyway. It's not surprising that it looks old because it was built in the late 1940s. Another indicator of its age is that there is a separate stand on each side rather than a continuous bowl. There's also a bit of terracing at each end for good measure. CPP Arena? CPP? No thanks, we're here for hockey rinks. I think CPP is just an insurance company. The most boring of companies, probably. It's not so boring inside CP Arena though. Not only is the seating seemingly done up in every colour of the rainbow, but up top they've got themselves an octo screen, which has one side for each and every colour of the rainbow, plus one for luck. KV Arena. Now, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I think I've figured out what the KV in KV Arena stands for. You see, the town that this venue is in is called Karlovy Vary, and Karlovy Vary is known for its spas, and spas sort of give off cool vibes. That's cool with a K. Cool Vibes KV, there you go. Geez, that is excessive advertising. But I guess they didn't sell the naming rights to the arena, so they had to make up for it elsewhere. Enago Arena. These guys clearly have sold the naming rights, but they sold it to a fitting company, because Enago is partially owned by Škoda Auto, which is a company that has strong historical links with this team, and indeed the city of Mlada Boleslav. Their headquarters is located in town, and they've actually owned this team for several decades in the past. They sold it in 2000, the same year that Volkswagen Group became the sole owner of Škoda. Anyway, this green Škoda colour scheme is looking simply clever. Home Credit Arena. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Home loan companies are pretty boring as well, aren't they? But I don't think arena owners would care as long as they're getting paid. Inside there is a fairly steep seating bowl with a small upper tier of premium seating. It's pretty much a typical North American minor league hockey arena design. But yeah, for a city of a little over 100,000 inhabitants, this is a very impressive venue. Flinka Stadium. This is comfortably the smallest arena in the league, and one of the oldest. Yet it somehow manages to still look like an intimidating venue for the visiting team. That's largely due to the fact that it has an upper deck that is right on top of the ice. Fans up here are almost bumping their head on those yellow rafters. Flinka Stadium, bringing fans and players together with concussions on and off the ice. Don't know what that was. Ontario Arena. This is another very old venue, and of course, ice hockey has been the main use for the arena throughout the decades, but another event that this arena is known for is the Pardubice Open, one of Central Europe's biggest billiards tournaments. It's held here every year, just for the last 10 or so years. You might be imagining billiards players slipping about on the ice, but of course, they wear grippy shoes designed for ice billiards. Logspeed CZ Arena is actually home to a team that's named after Škoda. However, this is in reference to Škoda Works, which produced a wide range of machinery, ships, aircraft, and even trains back in the day. You may have noticed those kite-shaped panels on the outside of the building. Well, they are actually translucent, letting in plenty of natural light in the day, and plenty of natural dark at night. Bvar Arena. Ooh, a chimney thing. Ooh, I remember talking about this water tower in the video about the Czech Football League. Anyway, back to hockey now. This place opened just a year after World War II ended, making it the oldest in the league. In fact, it was just the second artificial ice rink to ever be built in Czechia. The first being Stanice Stardan in Prague, which was demolished about a decade ago. Hopefully this one's still got a few good decades left in it. O2 Arena. This one looks a lot more like the one we saw in Brno at the start of the video than it does its namesake arena in London. This, however, does have about the same capacity as its London counterpart though. It's the largest in the league and in Czechia as a whole. But as is often the case, specifically regarding arenas, with great size comes great monotony. It's a pretty straightforward interior. The amenities are certainly top notch though. There's plenty of video screenage. Bvar Arena. You'll never guess what Werk means. It means work. It's referring to the Trinet Steelworks. But it was actually named after the old Bvar Arena, which is closed, yet is still standing. They plan on converting it into some sort of research facility. Presumably that research involves trying to find a way in which the Czech economy can grow in a world where nobody uses Czechs anymore. To be honest, I have no pity for them. You don't see any other countries making a means of payment their whole identity. Ostrava Arena. This building looks very communist, very brutalist, which is probably not for everyone, but I think it looks bloody marvellous. Certainly a lot better than when it first opened, where the concrete was mostly left bare, in true brutalist style. The interior layout is equally distinctive. I love the way the seating tapers off at the ends, and those blue walls are quite striking. Also, this venue would have to have some of the most video board coverage per capita. CEZ Stadion. Oddly enough, the last venue was named CEZ Arena up until recently. It's just an energy company. The most boring of companies, probably. It's not so boring inside CEZ Stadion though. I'm getting deja vu. The previous arena may have recently had a new video cube installed, but this one had an entirely new roof installed just a couple of years ago. It is after all yet another venue that opened in the 1940s. So it's understandable if it may have been a tad leaky. And there you have it, plenty of interesting venues. It was especially tough to pick a favourite. I was tempted to go with the Rooster Barn, but I'm gonna go with Ostrava Arena. An interesting design inside and out. Please consider subscribing if you're new around here, and as always, thanks for watching, have a good one.